This demo will be setting up our artboard for our various tracing projects. So I'm going to begin by creating a new file. We're presented with the document setup window. All these tabs along the top do more than just show us different templates. If I pick the correct tab, print for instance, it's going to correctly set my color space for the artwork that I'm going to create. So if I know that I'm doing web work, you can see it's going to set RGB color and 72 dpi. But if I'm doing print, which all of our assignments in this class are, I'm going to select print and it's going to correctly set CMYK mode, CMYK color for the color mode, and 300 ppi for the raster effects. So I've done that, and I'm going to change to inches. All of our tracings are on 7" by 7" artboards, and it's always going to be, at least for now, it's going to be a single artboard. 7" by 7", CMYK color 300 ppi, create. And here is our artboard. Tap Command- on my keyboard and that'll zoom out just a little bit. So for every artboard, I find it useful to know where the center is. And I talked about this in class. The way I do that is I'm going to need to bring up my rulers first. My rulers aren't active. So I'm going to go to the View menu, down to Rulers, Show Rulers. And the alternative to that is Command R on your keyboard. So Command R will hide them. Command R will bring them back. And if I click on the leftmost ruler and drag across, you'll see that I'm pulling in a guide, and I'm going to set it to 3.5 inches. And then if I click on the top one and drag down, that will set a guide as well. So I'm going to drag it down to 3.5 inches. And by default, your guides should be locked. If you need to move them around, you didn't get it centered up quite right, if you right click or control click, you can unlock your guides. You can do this also through the View menu, or View menu, Guides, Lock and Unlock Guides. And you can move that guide around. So say I didn't get it where I wanted it, I can slide it back down into place. The second option, way I showed you this in class, to take the guesswork out of it, and so you don't have to try to meticulously place it on exactly 3.5 inches, because remember 3.5 inches is half of our 7" width and height. You can select that and go to your Align tools. Go to Window, Align. I've got my horizontal guide selected here. If I say Align to Artboard and click Vertical Align Center, it'll snap that guide right into place. And the same thing goes with the vertical one, although I already know that it's in the correct spot, but we'll go ahead and do it anyway. There. Now I know they're centered up. And I'm going to right click and lock my guides down again. That's it for the setup of my artboard. I need to do that every time I set up a new tracing or set up a project, and my artboard size will be whatever is called for in Brightspace. I'm going to save this as a template so that every time I start an assignment that requires a 7" by 7" artboard, I've already got all this done. So I'm going to go to the File menu, and I need to do one of two things. Either save the file as a file to start working on, or save it as a template. So I'm going to go to Save, and brings up my dialog, and I'm going to navigate to where I'm saving all my files. And I am saving them to my transport, Akron Fall, class demos, and I'm just going to call this 7 by 7 artboard template. And I'm going to change this from .ai to .ait. I only do this when I'm creating a template file. Otherwise, I'm always going to save as a .ai file. So I'm going to save this .ait. We'll save that. And I'm going to close it. And now if I go back out to my Finder, here's my 7x7 artboard template .ait that I just created. If I double click on that, it's going to open that artboard right up with all my center marks and as a new untitled document. So I'm going to have to save that to my project folder.